Hello, this is Nicole with Angelic Therapy and Healing. Welcome. Glad to have everyone here on Saturday, April 11th, 2020, the day before Easter. For all of you that are celebrating Easter, happy Easter. We will be celebrating it here. I hope you all have an amazing, blessed day. And for those of you that are not celebrating, I hope you have a blessed day as well. So today we are continuing forward with our dose of awesomeness, and this is a time where I'm answering any questions that you have. It's time for us to be able to connect since so many of us are hanging out in our homes right now. So we started doing this last month. We will continue to do this at least once a week through the end of April. So during this time, I'd like to answer your questions. The angels will always come through with some general messages. Do keep in mind general messages are for a large number of people, and they're brief. They're not very long like they typically are in the normal reading. I will be back to the normal readings in May, but until then we're going to be connecting this way. So that way you guys can let me know below how you're doing, how are you holding up, how are things going, are you healthy, are your family members healthy, is everybody doing okay, or do you need prayers, do you need a little bit of boost? And then also post your questions. So if you have already posted your question in a previous video, you do not need to post it again. Please do not post it again. That just causes more work for me. And I like to not have extra work because then maybe I can do these twice a week instead of once a week. But if you've posted it, I've got it. It's in the hat. It's just I randomly pull names when I do these. So, if your name isn't pulled this time, stay tuned because then you might be pulled next week when we do the next one. If you have not posted a question, please post that below. And then as I mentioned, let me know how you guys are doing. How's everybody holding up? Is everyone doing okay? Everybody healthy? Everybody keeping their spirits up? I do hope so. And just let me know. Share the information below. Oh, Allie's going to come and join us. Of course she is. Because we're getting ready to start the reading. She always wants to be part of the action. Don't you, Miss Allie? Well, if she comes up here, maybe you guys will get to see her shirt. Okay, so let's go on ahead and get started and see what general messages that the angels have you for today. Okay. Move his little leg. Look how flexible he is. Oh, flexible bunny. Okay. Move these down so you can see the graphics better. Come on, Miss Allie. Come on, Miss Allie. Oh, she's just going to be hopping back and forth. Oh, she came up. Let's see here. She want to say hi? Maybe. Oh, no. Camera zoomed in too much. That's too much, Allie. Okay. So you have two cards, and these are the general messages from the angels for everyone. You have wish wisely, and at the bottom it says your wishes wisely. No, it says use your wishes wisely to manifest your heart's desire and to take practical steps toward making your dreams come true. And then you have nature's signs. Be receptive to the subtle messages from nature as you go about your day. Nature talks to all of us continually. We need only to open our hearts and minds. Now, the interesting thing when you look at these cards, they both have a lot of blue. Now, blue is, of course, Archangel Michael's color. They're saying that some of you are actually feeling blue. And they're going to be given some information to help bring you out of that. This is also communications. Blue's the color of, and Archangel Michael's saying that you're protected and everything's okay. But blue is also communications. So this first card, okay, Miss Allie, she's very much like a 3-year-old today. When you have toddlers and they want in and out and up and down. Yeah, that's what she's doing. She keeps interrupting. So please forgive her. Hopefully she will stay down permanently for the rest of the reading. Okay, wish wisely. So this is, of course, about taking the time to manifest your dreams. Because, in order for them to come true, you have to do something. So we can sit all day long and be like, okay, I really want this new car. Oh, I'd like to have a new car. I'd like to have a new car. But if we don't take action steps, we'll keep pushing getting that new car down the road because we're not doing anything to make it happen. So to make it happen, the first thing would be is to write it down. So for a lot of you, you're being encouraged to write down what you would like to manifest, these dreams and hopes and desires of yours, because that's going to help ground it into the physical plane. That's your first step to grounding it. And by grounding it, that's the first step to you getting it here. So if it's a new car, your first step is to write down, okay, I would like this, Honda Accord, and I want it to be black with black leather. But write it down. Write down what you want. Write the details of what you want so that you can bring it to fruition. But your first step is you have to write it down so it's just not airy-fairy, something up in the clouds that someday you'd like. You need to bring it down here to earth. First step, write it down. What is it that you want? And then for a number of you, because there's a number of you, you've written it down. You've written down, but it's now taking action steps. So for some of you, if it's a car, so sticking with the car example, say it's a car, well, okay, you've written it down. Well, start a savings account. Start putting some money. If you know that, okay, in order for me to get this new car, I'm going to have to put, $5,000 down. Well, go open a savings account. Start putting the money in the savings account. Start doing some extra work to make some extra money for it. Or if you've got the money, when you can leave your house, go car shopping. Go look for the car to actually take that leap of faith and grab a hold of it. Because it's not going to just suddenly appear out in your driveway with a big red bow on it. You want it, you really want it, and God and Jesus and the angels, they're doing everything they can to help you bring it, but you have to take the action for it. They can't take the action for it. You have to take the action for it. And they're encouraging you to take that action. Because it could, whether it's a car or whether it's, say you want a new job. And you keep thinking every day, I hate this job that I'm stuck in. I don't want to be here. I want a new job. Okay, well, write down what type of job do you want? What would be your dream job? If you could do anything, what's your dream job? Write it down. Next step, update your resume. The angels can't come down and write your resume for you. They can help you. They can give you inspiration. They can essentially help channel your resume to help it sound amazing, to help you sell yourself like a rock star to your new boss and your new dream job, but they can't write your resume for you. You have to write your resume. Yeah, that's right, Lexi. That's right. You write your resume. So for maybe a number of you, you want a new job. Use this time to write your blasted resume and then start sending it out. But they're encouraging you, whatever it is that you want, start taking the action steps to make it happen. It's not going to magically appear on your front doorstep. Or if you've got this dream boat that you just really want to be, it's like, Now they are telling me for Divine Feminine, Twin Flames, they are not telling you to just rush out and be reaching out to people. Although they may, in fact, be, although they are talking to a number of your Divine Masculines to reach out. But in general, because this is not just Twin Flames, most of you are not, this is for general populace, say you've got this dream boat, and you're like, man, I cannot get her off my mind. If I could have her, I would be so happy. That's really all I want. Okay, so you're in airy fairyland. We all spend a lot of time in airy fairyland. That's okay. We all do that. But after a certain amount of time, we need to get out of airy fairyland and we need to make those wishes come true. So we have to do something about it. So in your case, God's not going to just plop her on your doorstep with a bow on and negligee on, like, here she is, voila. No, you're going to have to do something for it, just like you're going to have to do something for the car, or you're going to have to do something for the dream job. You have to do something. You're going to have to communicate with her. You have to give her a call. Contact her. Reach out to her. They're saying, for those of you that are men, you can start off by writing it down on a piece of paper. I would like to have a relationship with this woman. I would like to see where this is going to go. But they're saying most of you that are men are not going to do that. So just jump into the doing something, because you're very good at doing something. You just have not been very good at doing something related to her. They just clinked on my refrigerator. Yay! So that means we're on target. So they're encouraging you to do something. Call her. I was saying in the beginning, there's so much blue in here, and blue is about communications. So communicate. Reach out to her. But they're saying take those practical steps towards making your dreams come true today. Today. You have the time today to do that. Now, for some of you, they're saying that you are feeling very lonely, isolated, and sad at this time. It's a very heavy time for you. Oh my gosh, like it almost makes me want to cry. It's so heavy. Oh, okay. So some of you are in a very, very low place right now, and they want to help you get out of that. See how she has her hand over her heart, and then she's got her little finger pointed out, and it's like touching something magical. First off, they want you to know that you're not alone. You're surrounded. Post what you're going through down below. Send me a message what you're going through. It's okay. We're all going through it alone. I live alone. I've been stuck in my house. Actually, the angels started having me do social distancing before it was the hip, trendy thing because of being high risk. So I've been hanging out at home alone since mid-February. And there were times that, I just like you, it was like, oh my gosh, when can I go play with people again? When can I get out of the house? This kind of sucks. This is lonely. I mean, there is a reason why in prisons, if they're wanting to give someone like the ultimate reprimand, they'll put them in isolation, and it makes them go mentally crazy. That's just one thing, because we're humans. We need connection. We need connectivity. But they want you to know that you are connected. We're all connected. That's actually part of why this virus is going around. Everyone pretty much is going to get it. We'll give you some more information about that. They're saying here in a few minutes. But you are not alone. You are surrounded. Pray. Talk to God. Talk to the angels. You can talk to Jesus. He loves talking too. And he's there for everyone. He doesn't care about religion. He wasn't focused on any religion when he was here. So do keep that in mind. But you're surrounded. You're surrounded by your team. You're surrounded by love. You are also loved by family and friends. So they are encouraging you to physically reach out to them. You see how she's reaching out? Reach out. Call them. You'll find that they want to talk too. They're saying that some of you, you're not wanting to call somebody because you're like, oh, well, I don't want to bother them. What if they're busy? What are they busy doing? They're sitting on their couch just like you are. We're all doing the same thing. We're sitting in our homes. We're eating too much junk food that we're smacking ourselves for eating. We're spending too much time either on the internet or on TV. Many of us are getting house projects, cleaning things done, but we're just hanging out in our house. It's not like you're going to interrupt them at this fine dinner that they're at, or at this big charity ball that they're at, or at the movie theater. You're not going to interrupt them. Call them. They'll be glad you did. You will be glad you did. Start reaching out. You are not in this alone. They keep saying you are not in this alone. We are all going through it together. Reach out to your friends. Reach out to your family. Start those conversations. You're not going to be inconveniencing them, because they're saying for some of you don't want to inconvenience. You're not going to be inconveniencing them. They're going to be glad that you called. Because for a number of you, you need to hear that voice on the other side. So call. Now, they also want you to know that this soon will be over. It's interesting because the angels have been giving me a percentage as to how many people worldwide have this. And they started doing this clear back in February. And at first I thought, well, this is interesting. Like, why are you giving me percentages? Why do I care about percentages? Because about 5 or so weeks ago, we were at about 60%. And like last week, about a week and a half ago, they started telling me that we were almost at 90%. And this is worldwide, because they had told me when this man-made virus was released and started to spread, that like everyone was going to end up getting it. It's going to go around to everyone. But, there's going to be many beautiful things that come from this, many blessings, as they've been talking the whole time that we've been having these conversations. This has given us all an opportunity to look at what's working in our life, what's not working in our life, what do we want, what do we not want. We can clear out the things we don't want. We can do those projects around our house. We can reconnect with those that we love. We can remember that we are all connected, because we are. So there are many beautiful things coming out of this, and that will come out of this. It doesn't seem like it during this time when there's so much uncertainty, but it is. It's going to be fine. It is really going to be fine. But they've been giving me these percentages the whole time. And last week, one of my friends, she'd sent me a text saying, hey, did you see this video? So there's this guy who channels God. He channels God's source. And he had posted a video last week. And I'll put the link down below. I'll pin it as one of the first comments to his video. But in that video, because she was asking me, what do you think about this percentage? And I had to laugh, because I'm like, that's the same percentages that the angels have been giving me. I'm like, that's the last number that they were telling me. Because he too was talking about how, we're almost at 90%. Everyone's going to get this, although most people have already had it or currently have it. And we'll be hitting that last little bit, getting us up to that 100% point. Or they're saying that there are going to be a handful of people that are not going to get it, but that's going to be far and few that are not going to get it, because we're going to be sitting at almost that 100%. In the immediate future. Immediate future. So do not believe any false information that you are receiving that, you're going to be locked down in your home until August. That's hogwash. Don't believe it. It's inciting fear. There's nothing to fear. We're all going to be out of this very, very soon, much sooner than you realize. When May rolls around, people are going to be like, it's almost like that disease that illness, that virus just up and disappeared, like no one has it anymore. Well, no one has it anymore, because everyone's already had it. Almost 90% of the world population has already had it or currently has it. Think back. Many, even in the United States and other countries outside of China, were getting it clear back in December, late November last year. Think back to that weird respiratory thing you had. You kind of thought you had a cold. You kind of thought maybe it was a sinus infection, but you kind of had some weird flu symptoms. It's kind of like an odd flu. And for some, it's just kind of like a bad cold. But it's just kind of an odd thing. You're like, where'd this come from? And then it cleared up. It went away. Majority of people are recovering just fine from this. Unfortunately, there have been fatalities, and my heart goes out to those who have lost their loved ones during this time. But majority of humanity are recovering just fine. And unfortunately, that information is not being shared, which is causing fear and panic. And it's also causing fear and panic when you guys are hearing in mainstream media news that, this is going to go on all summer long and all fall, and you're going to be locked in your house until October. It's hogwash. Please stop believing that. Please stop allowing them to scare you. There's nothing to be afraid of. This has almost run its course. And the beautiful thing of it almost having run its course is you'll now have the antibodies to it. Because if you had that weird cold flu funk that was going on, or if you're someone that has it, I've got 3 friends right now that have it, that's what you had, or that's what you have. And the beautiful thing is, when it's gone, you now have the antibodies. And just think, right now we're at 90%. In the next couple of weeks, we're going to be hitting that 100% mark. So then 100% worldwide, we have all beat this virus. We have antibiotics. So we're not going to get it again. We will not get it again. And we can move forward. And that's why it's going to appear that it just up and suddenly disappeared. Because it's going to be interesting when you read some news reports and stories that are going to come out next month, that they're going to be like, it's almost as though it just up and poof was gone. Which is, in fact, Sylvia Brown wrote in her book. She did write about it, how there's going to be this pneumonia-like thing that comes in 2020 and then poof, it disappears. That is how it's going to go down. The reason it's going to go down like that is because we've all had it. There's no one else left to get it at that point. That's why it's going to disappear. and it will be disappearing in the immediate future. So please, please don't allow yourself to be scared. Don't be worried. It's okay. We have so much divine help, and continue to pray. Pray for those who are sick. Pray for their recovery. Pray for a full healing. Pray for it worldwide. We are all going to get through this. We're going to get through this together, and it is going to be okay. And don't allow yourself to be scared or fearful, because that's one of the unfortunate things that fear does, is it affects your immune system. And if you are one of those that's in that 10% that haven't gotten it yet, but it's coming your way, you want your immune system to be banging. You want it to be as strong as possible. So if you have not gotten it yet, prepare, because it's coming your way, and it's okay. Myself, many of those that I love have already gone through it. It's okay, but you do want your immune system to be as strong as possible. So make sure you're taking a multivitamin. Make sure you're taking extra vitamin C. Now, keep in mind, here's my disclosure. I am not a doctor. Speak to your doctor. But I will give you the advice the angels have given me. I am not a doctor, but they've had me multivitamin, extra vitamin C, extra vitamin D. When I was sick, they also had me increase my zinc, and eating anti-inflammatory foods. And there are things that you can also, okay, so some of you actually have it right now, and the congestion's got you concerned. If you can, drink pineapple juice, because that'll help clear things out. If you have essential oils in your home, like lemon oil, if you're a person that has even Young Living oils, there's Raven oil, but lemon essential oil, most people have, most people can get. Put it on the balls of your feet, put it on the balls of your feet and your toes. The balls of your feet are connected to your lungs, your toes are connected to your sinuses. When you put that oil on the balls and toes of both feet, it will immediately open up your lungs and your sinuses, and you'll be able to breathe. It will also help you expel any of the congestion that you have. Make sure you're getting, if you don't have a humidifier, take steam showers. And you don't have to get in the steam shower 3 or 4 times a day. Just turn on the shower, let the bathroom fill up with steam, sit in there for 10 or 15 minutes, because your lungs have to be moist to expel things. Coming from a woman who has lung damage from a rocket blast, I'm very familiar with what it takes to get your lungs cleared. They have to be moist. Drink lots of water. Get steam showers, sit in the steam. If you have a humidifier, run your humidifier. Drink pineapple juice if you can. And again, anti-inflammatory foods. And you'll recover just fine. So they're encouraging you to know that all is well. And another thing for you to help boost your immune system is just to keep your vibration high. Get outside, take a walk, call the ones you love, listen to some joyful music, have a dance party in your house. Those things are going to boost you up and lift you up. Okay? Now, they're also encouraging you to do some grounding things. So, get outside. That will help ground you as well, because the energies are pretty intense right now. Now, the next card, nature's signs. So you're getting blasted by all these signs. And the angels love to talk to us, obviously, with signs. We get blasted with them all the time. And they also like to leave us little things. So you'll find, like, if you're having money issues, you might walk outside and, like, in this random spot on your porch, there's a penny. No one's been on your porch in weeks. Where did this penny come from? The angels left it for you to tell you it's okay. Don't worry about money. Money's fine. It's okay. They also like to leave feathers and random things, but they love giving signs. And they love to also talk through animals. So get outside. They're encouraging some of you to also stop sleeping all the time. So you're spending a lot of your time indoors sleeping. That can also... Now, for some of you, if you're not feeling well, yes, sleep. Get plenty of sleep if you're not feeling well. But for many of you, it's not that you're not feeling well. It's just that you're just kind of in the dumps, in the blues. So to help boost yourself out of those blues, stepping out of the blues, get outside, pay attention to the signs that are around you, breathe in some fresh air. They're saying talk to us. Talk to the angels, talk to God. And I encourage you to stop worrying so much, some of you, about money. Money matters will be fine. your finances are going to bounce back just fine as well. And some of you, by fearing concerns and issues with money, you're actually creating lack. So if someone's constantly thinking, oh my gosh, I don't have money, and I don't know if I'm going to get money, and I don't know if I'm going to have the money to pay my bills, and I don't know, what are they putting out to the universe? I don't have money. I don't think there's money. I don't have the money. So they keep creating that. Versus if they can shift their perspective of, God's taking care of me. I have the money that I need to pay my bills. I am taken care of. I am provided for. Money's flowing in. Okay. Money is there. I have the money that I need. Then that can shift it and shift that valve from a state of lack to a state of having things flow in. But they want you to know that you're okay. Your money, your finances are going to be taken care of. And if you can get to where some water, there's this little creek coming through this card. I don't know if you can see that little creek there. Water is very clearing. Kind of like when you take a shower in the morning. It not only does it cleanse the bacteria and stuff off of your body, it also cleanses you energetically. But water is also very enlightening. So if you ever notice, like if you go to like the beach, it doesn't even have to be the beach. It can be a creek. It can be a swimming pool. But if you go there and you're contemplating, you're thinking about something like, oh, I really don't know what to do with my kids, next month when I take vacation. Like, where am I going to drop them off? I don't know who's going to watch them. And suddenly you go and you take a walk by the creek and suddenly, poof, it just pops in like, oh, well, I should ask my friend Susan. The kids love her and she loves the kids. Oh my gosh, I'll give her a call. But suddenly those answers to your questions, they just come in. That's because water will clear your channel to the divine so that divine guidance can come through clearer. So if you can get to water, hang out near water, they're encouraging you to do that because a lot of you are in a bit of a confused state, but also just feeling like you're blocked, like you're not getting information. Part of that is because of just the time energetically that we're in right now. Because we are really in it right now. Really in it right now with the energies and such that are going on. But that will clear things and help you get some information. Now, they keep pointing these badgers out to me. So you see there's a number of different animals on here. You get squirrels and you got a little otter and butterflies, but they keep pointing out the badgers, and you notice that there are two badgers. So for some of you, there's communication between two people that will transform things because you got the butterflies all around that are about transformation. So for some of you, there's something to clear the air with someone on, and that will transform those things. But all animals have meaning. Like, so say you take your walk outside and you're like, oh, I keep seeing these robins everywhere. Well, look up the spiritual meaning of a robin. Like, you'll find robins are all indicative of new beginnings, fresh starts. But all animals have different meanings. So if you go out and you keep seeing a particular animal over and over, that's because the angels are trying to communicate something to you with that animal. Now, badgers, they keep pointing out the badgers, are all about not depending on others. Being independent, being confident, being persistent and enthusiastic. It's also about facing challenges head on, even if you're feeling unprepared to do so. It's also about strategic planning, which comes back to those, you want your wishes to come true, taking action, but, putting that strategic plan together and then taking the action, forging forward, even if you're not feeling prepared, even if you're feeling uncertain, even if you're worried about communicating, because I have to just clear my throat, even if you're afraid of how's this information going to be received that you're going to be communicating. But badgers, they dig, they dig for root vegetables, so they dig for something. Some of you are going to be having something revealed to you in the very near future, the next couple weeks. So allow yourself to receive that information. And some of you, they're encouraging you to drop your defenses and your pride. Because in order to face this challenge, face this communication, to have this conversation, to repair this relationship, there's some pride that will need to be released. And for the others, the wall, like it's almost like you've got a wall, your defense is up, to allow that to fall down. So you are receptive to that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to get started with your questions. Let's see, who do we have today? Again, I apologize up front if I mispronounce any of your names. You know, every time it's going to happen, so I apologize now if I don't get yours right. The nice thing is I will type the names of everybody that I answer questions for down below. And if you're just here for the general messages, you're welcome to leave, but would love to have you continue to stay on, because you will find that most of the times when there are answers. See, she's ready to go for a walk. Lexi apologizes for being so rude during your reading. However, the sunshine is out and they have gotten spoiled by taking a little walk in our neighborhood, and she is ready to go. So she apologizes. She will be patient while I finish this reading. Go lay down. Go get on your bed. It's cozy. It's cozy. Okay, so but as I was saying, typically the angels, when they give someone an answer to their questions, they will have messages that apply to many others. So if you hang in, even if your question is not being answered today, hopefully you will receive some information. So, oh my goodness, clearly communication is something for some people. So let me take a sip of water real fast. We're going to get started with Nova, Lova, Lova. I want to say Lova. Go lay down. Okay. Nova, Lova. I feel in my heart space that there is someone out there who truly loves me, only I don't know who he is, nor can I understand why. Do I have a twin soul or twin flame? Oh my gosh, there comes the throat stuff again. And if so, does he know where and who I am? Will he ever meet me? Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I'm going to take another sip of water. What in the world is going on? So the last cards with communication, for a number of you, there's things that need to be communicated in order to have your wishes come true. They're really encouraging you to do that communication. And a lot of you feel like it's like stuck in your throat. You just can't get it out. They're encouraging you to spit it out. Just spit it out. And you'll be glad that you did. Okay. So, Nova, Lova. Nova, Lova. Let's see here. Oh, and for anyone that's not posted questions, I only do one question. So, you know, think of one good question and post that. As you will find people that have multiple questions, I'm going to answer their first question. Or in this case, they're going to pose another question for you, Nova. Okay. So, yes, you do have like a high-level soulmate that's going to be coming in, that you're going to be meeting at some point. But I think the bigger question, what they're saying is at this point, the bigger question is really, what is it that's blocking you from having romantic love come in? So they're saying that emotional balance is key for you at this time. They're saying it's necessary. Emotional balance is necessary in order for you to usher in this relationship. There's still some heartache and some sadness and sorrow that you're holding on to from the past. And because of that heartbreak that you've had in the past, you have closed yourself off to love. You want love. You want someone to come in. You want a relationship, but you've kept it at bay out of fear of, being alone or having them deceive you or having them hurt you or betray you. So you've kept it at bay. And one of the ways that you have kept it at bay is by giving everything that you have to everyone else. They're saying also like not taking care of yourself, not taking the time for you. So, you're always doing for others. You're always there to help them, always there at their side, always, doing things, even though you're not always wanting to do all those things, but you leave yourself depleted. So that time that you need for your own self-care, and it can be, I think it could be, wanting to work out, or just wanting to get some rest, or wanting to, change diet plans, or just wanting to go and socialize, not have a purpose for everything, but just to go and relax, like go sit on a patio with friends and laugh. You don't have the time for that because you have kept yourself busy going all the time. When you look at it, it's out of balance. Life is out of balance. So I encourage you to take the time for you, do the things that you enjoy. Take care of you, make yourself the priority. And not in selfish ways, but I mean, just it's like not even taking the time to do little things for yourself. I'm going to sit at home tonight and I'm going to put a face mask on. I'm going to put a hair mask on. And I'm going to watch a silly, funny movie because that's what my soul needs right now, just to be happy. But instead of doing that, you're like, oh, well, Bobby asked me to go and do this for him, and then I need to pick this up for Mary, and I need to go drop this off. But you're doing things for other people all the time. You're not doing for you, and you're leaving yourself depleted, empty. So then it's romantic, empty. So they're encouraging you to focus on that balance, focus on the emotional balance, focus on taking care of yourself, and everything else shall fall into place. Next up is Courtney Lynn. I met a new guy and wanted to know if he is the one. Well, let's just get you an angel answer card. Okay. So you have the card Opportunity. So this is a beautiful card. If you look, her body almost makes like a Y. I mean, I was hoping for a simple yes or no because there are like 4 of those in the deck. But no, the angels, of course, would not give us something that easy and simple. No, instead we just get the Opportunity card. So yes, he is going to bring you a lot of joy. You see how her heart is illuminated? And she's very thankful. She's got all this gold and coins. And oh, she's just being showered. He is going to bring you a lot of joy. He is going to bring you a lot of happiness. Even if you don't end up long-term getting married, it is going to be a beautiful opportunity for a very joyful and replenishing, they're saying replenishing love with a lot of heart expansion, and it's going to serve you well. Because not all romantic loves do we get for a lifetime. Sometimes we get some for the time that we need them. Maybe it's heart healing in your case. Maybe we meet someone and they come in and they just help us heal our heart and be open to love again, and be open to joy again, and be open to receiving God's blessings again. And maybe they're not intended to be the one we marry and are with long term for the rest of our life. But maybe they're the one that we're meant to be with for a year or two, to help prepare us for the one who will be the permanent one that's to come. But they prepare us in a joyful way, and we're glad that they came into our life because of the blessings that they brought us. And He is going to bring you many blessings. They're saying she's going to want more information than that. But we can't do that because it's not a personal reading. But He is the one that will bring you lots of joy for now, and it's not like it's only going to be a couple months, but it will be more of a long-term relationship. So I hope that helps. I hope that helps. And when I'm doing personal readings, which hopefully will be in the near future, again, then we can get you some more details then, Courtney. Okay. So, travel website translator. Will my twin flame and me be in communication, and are we coming together? Probably need to work together again. Otherwise, no chance of seeing each other. Well, travel website translator. they are saying that you are in fact a true twin flame. Although it is silly about the whole working together thing, because what is meant to be will be, no matter how it has to come together. So they're encouraging you to stop putting them in a box. You don't ever want to put God in a box. You don't put the angels in a box, because that just restricts things, and that restricts things coming in. So say you think, oh my gosh, this just is not going to happen unless we're working together. So since he's still not working with me, it's just not going to happen. Well, that's not how they're going to have it happen. No, the two of you are not going to be working together again. That's not how it's going to happen. But since you have your mind set on that's the only way it can happen, well, it's just going to keep pushing it to the right. Versus if you're like, okay, God, Jesus, angels, I want this to happen. I don't care how you make it happen. I am just open to it happening. And then you get out of the way. And that gives them the freedom to work whatever magic that they can do, so that they can surprise you and give you some awe-like moments with like, holy moly, I can't believe that they pulled that off. Because although you may have worked together in the past, you're not going to work together again. That's not how it's going to happen. And that doesn't mean that you're not going to see each other again. So take my twin and I. Interesting thing, I had just graduated high school and he was just getting out of college. And Honda, my dad was a senior manager of their IT department in Honda here in Ohio. So they have this program where if your children were going to college, or in my case, waiting to leave for military basic training, they could come and work with you during the summer. So I was going with my dad. And I started working at Honda the exact same week my twin flame started working at Honda at the same plant in the same location. Same week. We were both working there. And I was only working there for about a month. But it's the exact same week. And of course, he had just finished college, and I left there for the military. And so you would think that, oh, okay, work together, never going to see each other. That one missed opportunity. No, we still end up meeting each other years later. And then you would think, when we had stopped talking to each other years ago, oh, I'm never going to see him again because he lives in a totally different town. He lives like an hour and a half from me. No, I end up passing the man on the road multiple times in my area. He doesn't live around, well, he does now, but he doesn't live in this area. He has family in this area, but he doesn't live around here. So they're encouraging you to please not put a box around them, not put a box around you. You will be amazed by the stuff that they can pull off, whether you're working together or living near each other. What is meant to be will happen. So just allow them to do that. And if you can just sit back and have faith that they're going to do that, you will likely hear from them in the next month or so. But we're shifting timelines. We got some interesting things happening right now. So don't hold me to that. If it takes a little bit longer or maybe a little shorter, that would be great. But yes, it will be happening. You will be communicating and coming together. Now, Simona G has asked, Dear Nicole, I have blocked my masculine on Facebook about a year ago and wasn't able to unblock him due to the hurt he has caused me. He's still with karmic but miserable, I think. I was still hoping he would find a way to apologize even though I can't unblock him. Will this happen in the near future? Well, you could possibly hear from him in the next few months. However, oh, they're clinking on the windows now. However, they are encouraging you to let go. They're encouraging you to let go of the pain that he caused you. And let go of that pain without his apology coming in yet. Because that's putting up a block. That's putting up a wall. Because if we're focused on someone that's hurt us, soulmate, twin soul, whatever the person may be, when we're focused on that they hurt us, we're holding on to that pain. So we don't, and when we're holding on to that pain, we don't realize that we are also putting a block, not wanting them to come in, because there's that part of us that still hurts and is afraid. Well, if they come back, they're going to hurt me again. What if they hurt me like that again? So energetically, we keep them at a distance. so that they don't come back and hurt us, kind of like you blocking him online. That's a protective mechanism. So your heart and soul's still doing a protective mechanism, holding on to that pain, keeping a wall up, not allowing him to come near, and energetically keeping a wall up, which with an energetic wall up, you won't see him physically coming toward you. Because it's kind of like, it's an interesting thing you can do on an airplane. So if you ever get on an airplane and, you know, kind of like there's this airline here in the United States, Southwest Airlines, and they don't assign seats. You're just given, like, you know, they've got these 3 groups, A, B, or C. And you just board the plane by your number and you pick whatever seat that you want. But, you know, you'll get on it. Sometimes you're like, I don't want this person sitting next to me. I don't want that person sitting next to me. But you can do a test so to see how energy works. It's kind of cool. Next time you get on the aircraft and just envision your energy field going out about 3-4 feet. And just envision that out. You will find everyone will continue to walk by you. You don't even have to mean mug them. You don't even have to ignore them. Just poof, and visualize and ask that your protective field go out 3-5 feet. And no one's going to stop to get in your row. And then after you've done that for a few minutes, then you can be like, okay, drop the protective field so I can have somebody sit next to me. And like immediately somebody's going to want to come and sit next to you. Because that's how energy works. Energetically, you have a block up toward him. Because that pain is still there. So they're encouraging you to let that pain go. And remove the block. They're not saying that you have to go out and find him and friend him, but remove the block. And also let go of expectations of how and when and what's going to go down. And because 99% of the time, what we expect and how we expect it to go down is not how it's going to go down. It will go down, especially if it's something that is divinely ordained and meant to happen. It will happen, but it very rarely does it ever happen the way we envision it. So encouraging you to allow those expectations to fall away, because it's not going to happen how you envision it to happen. And that's not a bad thing. Most of the time, that's a blessing, because it turns out way better than what we could expect and way better than what we had envisioned. Oh, and they're also saying that he has been with his karmic because he's felt responsible for her. It's almost as though he felt like he owed her something. So hopefully that helps Simona. Okay, now we are moving on to Serenity Silverwolf. And Serenity Silverwolf says, I would like to ask, should I be patient with the man I'm currently dealing with or move on? I seem to be stuck. I think I'm dealing with a twin flame connection here, so I'm not certain what to do. That's interesting. Okay. So what we're going to do, Serenity, we're going to answer your question and the others. We've got 4 others. We're actually going to answer your guys' questions next week. So you guys can't see when I'm doing the reading for you, but sometimes things will come in real clear, and like today things are kind of, they're like giving me information. But like with your stuff, Serenity, they're hesitating and not wanting to share information. They're wanting me to stop doing the answering of questions right now and to come back next week to answer them. And the reason is, it's not that what you asked is bad. It's not that anything that you asked is wrong. Okay, so right now, energetically, things are a little wonky. They are. Many of you, so the energy is very intense. We've got the Schumann resonance spiking. We've got energy waves coming in. This time where we are all, spending a lot of time at home. This time is helping with the ascension process. It's like a great awakening is occurring worldwide at this time. In this time of people, going inward and reflecting, what's important, what's not, what's working for me, what's not, what do I desire in my future, in my life, what do I want to get rid of? We are shifting timelines. We're all shifting timelines. And this is very important at this time for people to decide what is it that they want and what is it that they do not want, so that they can put those things into action so that they can have those things in the future. It's kind of like a time of suspension, like a temporary pause during these timeline shifts for people to get on the path that they desire, that they're meant to be on, that is their destiny, because for many, they've not been on that path. And for those of us that haven't been on the path, we've known because things haven't been quite right. We've not been happy with it. We've been wanting changes. We've been wanting things to shift. And it can be things of simple of, I just wanted to move into a different house, or it could be something bigger. I don't want this partner that I've been with. Instead, I want her or I want him. Or it could be job. Like, I don't, I've not been happy with this job. I want this dream job. But during this time of suspension, they're saying like time of suspension. It's like a time out. Everyone's been given this big time out pause. There is a mass awakening occurring on Earth right now. Energy is extremely intense right now. And most of you know that. You've been having headaches. You've been feeling kind of vertigo, lightheaded, dizziness issues have been occurring off and on for the past few weeks. Some of you, you're just overwhelmed with just being tired. And this isn't like earlier when they were talking about some people are just sleeping all day and all night all the time. This is just like all of a sudden, it might be 6:30 at night and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. Why am I so tired? Almost feeling like you've been drugged. Like, oh, I just need to lay down and go to sleep. Well, that's because they do healing on us when we're sleeping. The most intense healing on us, physically and emotionally, has to be done when we are sleeping. So if they're going to be doing some serious work on us, they need us to go to sleep. So they give us almost like a tranquilizer so that we will finally just go to sleep so they can work on us. But you've had days where you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. Well, you're getting an energetic upgrade, and you're also getting physical upgrades. Some of you are going to find over the next 3 to 6 months, some of the health issues that you had, you don't have any longer. They're gone because they're healing those during this time for many people. They're healing the emotional things, the emotional baggage. But this time is also a vital, essential time for us to make a conscious decision. What do we want in our future? Where do we want to be? Because there are major timeline shifts that are occurring, that will be occurring, and we need to get ourselves aligned with where we want to be. Which is why we have this time to think about those things, and not just think about them, but to make the decisions and put some action into it. Move that wheel forward so they can take it from there. That's funny. So they're saying for some of you are new to the channel, welcome, glad to have you here. Apparently they're saying that this sounds like really woo-woo sci-fi out there, kind of cuckoo cocoa puffs, but it's not. Oh, she's talking timeline shifts. Do 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 do. No, there are timeline shifts, and we've been going through them for years. So one of the things that has been occurring is with this ascension process we're going through, they have been collapsing timelines. And it's been happening for a number of years. And so we have this thing that's called the Mandela effect. So, okay, they want me to give you guys some physical proof that timeline shifts, and these things are not so cuckoo cocoa puffs out there. Now, for a large number of you, you're already aware of that. But there are some that are listening that they would like to share some additional information with you about these things that are occurring. So timeline shifts. We've had timelines collapsing in order to prepare us for this ascension that we are going through. We also have timeline shifts that occur. Now, with collapsing timelines, if they're going to be collapsing a bunch of timelines, there's going to be residue from other timelines. So say they take the 40 timelines and they stack them all and they combine them into one timeline, because maybe they need to shift all those people into a new dimension, which is where we're heading. But they need to get that timeline condensed down to one instead of 40 so they can help these people take this quantum shift, this quantum leap. But they can't just have all these people go from their different, because timelines, there's slight differences in all the different timelines. So, one decision we make today can take us down one path, but if we make a different decision, it can take us down another path. And you can look at it like those paths are two timelines. But to prepare for quantum shift, they got to collapse timelines. Collapsing timelines, there will be residue from other timelines. So there will be things that are not quite as you remember it. That's because there's been collapsing timelines because of the ascension that we're going through. And there are, in fact, timeline shifts that have occurred, and there are going to be more timeline shifts occurring. That residue, as we make those shifts and make those changes, we'll find that things are not exactly like we remember. So those of you who are here in the United States, who remembers the Statue of Liberty being located on Ellis Island? That's where I remember it being. And like, I blew my brother's mind like 6 months ago. He thought he was going cuckoo Cocoa Puffs when I shared this with him, because I share spiritual information with him sometimes, and he looks at me like some of you are looking right now, like, do, this is so crazy and out there. But then I dropped some of these truth nuggets with him to help open his eyes, and he's like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. But now he's starting to go through an awakening, which is a beautiful thing to see. But he was like me. He remembered the Statue of Liberty being at Ellis Island. But when I told him that in this reality that we are in, it is actually located now on Liberty Island, he was shocked, as many of you are going to be. So I encourage you, go to Google or go to whatever browser you use and look up the location of the Statue of Liberty. You will find that the Statue of Liberty is now located on Liberty Island, not Ellis Island. I know, shocking, right? Because that's not just a little slight change. It's really not. It's kind of a big deal. Another thing, depends, diapers for elderly to wear. We're always depends, plural. Well, now that's not the name. Now it's depend. They've removed the depend. They've removed the S. It's now just depend. Look it up. Do you remember depends? That's not how it is now. Or how many of you grew up with the Berenstain Bears? Many of us grew up with that. But that's not what they are now. They're now the Berenstain Bears. Look it up. Check it out. It's different than what you remember. And there's a number of them. Like John F. Kennedy's assassination. Most of us remember, 4 people in the car, but now there's 6. That's something that's shifted. Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. You remember that, we'd always be saying, mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all? Well, now it's magic mirror on the wall. It was never magic mirror. It was always what I remember, mirror, mirror on the wall. How many of you remember mirror, mirror on the wall? I know there's a lot of you that remember that. That is not what it is anymore. So there are these things, these slight differences, and there's a whole lot more of them. So I encourage those of you that are like, timeline shifts, what? And now that I've given you some examples, now you're like really shocked, like, what the heck is going on here? Google these things. This is all residuals. They're saying residuals from timeline collapsing and timeline shifts. It does happen. It really is a true thing that's happening. It's happened to all of us. It's not anything to be worried about. The beautiful thing is we are all preparing to go into another timeline shift, and they want us to be on the right timeline. Many of us have made choices and gone down paths, and we know that, okay, this is not the path that I should be on. Now, everything happens as though it should, so don't be beating yourself up. But, you could look back, say, if, my twin and I started working at the same location clear back years ago, a long time ago. I could sit here and think, well, what if I would have made the decision to not go off to the Air Force, and then we would have met and everything would have been great then, but he'd had a new wife, and what if that would that not have happened? Everything happens like they're meant to. He was meant to have the experiences with his ex-wife. I was meant to have my experiences in the military. It has made us who we are. But then when we did meet, 2012, had we made different choices at that point? And I could even look then of, hey, well, if we would have made choices and wouldn't have gone separate ways and this and that, things could be great. Again, they're saying don't beat yourself up. We all make the choice that we make that makes us who we are. And especially when it comes to twin flames and twin souls, there has to be a lot of healing that occurs. You can't come together till then. But many of us have not been on the path that's really the dream path for us. We're like, something's just not right. It's not the right job. It's not the right relationship. It's not the right town. It's not the right house. It's not the right community. Something's just off. This time, this temporary pause that we are in is a tremendous blessing and gift. This is the time that you have, where are those two little cards at? This is the time that you have to, I don't know where I threw them. I don't know, they've disappeared. This is the time that you have, found them, to manifest your wishes, your desires. Because if you can have the courage, the fortitude, the energy, the focus, the laser light focus to put out what it is that you desire, to use this time for what it's intended to be. This time is intended for you to look at what's working, what's not working, number one. Put out what you do want. Don't focus on what's not working. Okay, well, here's what I do want. Write it down. I want this job. I want this person. I want to live in this state. I want this type of new car. I want to be able to get my hair done because I'm tired of looking at my roots. Whatever it is that you want, put it down. Write it down. Do that immediately. Like, no joke, this week. Put the pen to the paper. For the love of God, put it down. Write what you want so God can bring it to you. So the angels can bring it to you. So you can get off the crappy timeline and you can get on the correct timeline. That's why they're not having me finish everyone's things, because right now is an extremely pivotal time. If we all sit down and do our last tiny bit of work, which is not that difficult, and we really think about it this next week, what do I want? Yeah, I know what's not worked. I know what I've kind of liked. I know some things have made me happiness, brought me happiness, but what do I want from here forward? And if we write those things down, and if we take the action steps we're being guided to take, be it write a resume, send out the resume, start that savings account, make that phone call, send them that email, then we are putting ourselves, the trajectory, we're putting ourselves on the correct timeline. The timeline of the highest vibration, the timeline that's going to bring us the happiness, the joy, the things that we seek, the outcomes, the dreams that we desire. But that's what this in-between phase is right now, this time of suspension, this pause, is to help us all realign ourselves to the path, to the timeline that we want to be on. So they're encouraging all of us, no joke, finally sit down and use this time, use this next week to put that foundation down for where you want to be so it can happen. And that's why they don't want me doing any more answers today, because let's say Serenity Silverwolf, say I'm going to give you some information about your twin flame, and say right now, say today he's one that still has not sat down. Maybe he's, not officially ended things with that karmic that he's not seen, but he's not happy with, and he's not really talking to her, and he's spending his quarantine time alone, and so is she, but he's not had the nerve yet and the gumption to pick up the phone and say, hey, this hasn't been working for a while, I think you're a good person, we're just not good together, so we're going to go in our separate directions. And even though he wants to, he hasn't. And he also at this current time has not reached out to communicate with you. And maybe he's one of those that's just sitting sleeping all day long because he just doesn't want to deal with it. He's like, I'm just going to bury my head in the sand because I'm not going to be the badger. I'm not going to be taking things head on, even though I'm not sure how they're going to take it out. Instead, I'm just going to just bury my head in the sand here and do nothing. Maybe that's where he's at today. So maybe if I was to answer your question today, it could be, because right now it's like a portal way that we're in this next week, like right now through the next, they're like saying 4 or 5 days. It's a very powerful time. So say where things are in flux, but it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing that we're in flux because it's helping him. It's helping all of us, but it's helping him and it's helping the others. So as he's spending this time at home, he's awakening. He's having the ahas. He's having the epiphanies. So maybe if I'm to talk to you right now, I'll be like, well, he's not doing a whole lot. Well, but maybe 4 days from now, because they're showing me people are cracking open, like nuts cracking open. They're comparing this awakening to like cracking nuts open. Bang, bang. They're showing me the shells and popping open. People are cracking open nonstop right now around the world. So maybe 2 days from now, his nuts going to finally crack. He's going to find like, oh, that's what I need to do. Holy moly. I need to call this chick and tell her I don't want to be with her anymore, because I've been wanting to say that for months. And I need to reach out to my little silver wolf and say, hey girl, what you doing? When we finally get to escape our house, you want to go get some coffee? But he's not doing that right now, but he may be doing that 3 or 4 days from now. Hence, they don't want me answering anyone else's questions today. It's a very powerful time that we're in this weekend, and this will continue for another 4 or 5 days. And for those of you that are twins that are worried, oh, I wonder what he's doing, don't worry what he's doing. You put out what you want. That's what we all need to be focusing on this time, putting out what we want so that we can get on to that timeline that we all desire, where our wishes will be coming true. So that was long. Hopefully it made sense. And for those of you that the whole woo-woo stuff was out there, I hope that your minds are not totally rattled so that you're so shocked that you can't write your list of your wishes because you're just too blown away by this Mandela effect, timeline things. Oh my gosh, she just blew my mind. But I do, for those of you who have never heard about that, put your comments below, because I can't wait to hear what you think once you look these things up and you're like, oh my gosh, Nicole, I never knew. This is crazy. So with that being said, Serenity, Silver Wolf, and all the others, I will be taking care of all of you next week when I come back. And we've all gotten past this beautiful time of transformation that we are in. And hopefully we'll have some amazing good news for you at that time. Happy Easter to everyone. I wish you all the best, and I wish you all health, and I look forward to talking with you again soon. Lots of love, joy, and blessings.